Well, good Monday morning to you. Welcome to our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy with Doctors Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition, located on Cowan Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. And the year is quickly running by us here.
I can't believe it is. I mean, it'll be Christmas before we know it.
Oh, I know. Well, stores are already putting Christmas displays up in this line.
Isn't tomorrow the last day of Halloween? Yeah, isn't tomorrow the last day of summer?
Is it really?
Or technically, that's
technically.
Technically.
Tony, but I think it is.
Technically, I think it's the 22nd.
Well, I noticed this morning that it seems to be the daylight seems to be later and later and later now. So as the days are getting shorter.
It happens.
But this morning we're talking about a subject about how drugs can affect the nutrients in our body. Now, our phone lines are 896-0713, 800-349-0713. Stephanie is our operator this morning, so if you have a question for the doctors, you can call in and she will pass the question along to us if you don't want to be on the air, or if you do, you can ask them personally. But we see commercials on TV all the time touting a new drug. Medications. So we be nice about it. A new medication for something, but there's always that little thing at the bottom of it may cause this, and this.
Well, there's a lot of side effects to medication, and actually we're talking today, and we're not at all telling anybody to go out and stop your medication. So I mean,
definitely not.
At all, we're not saying that. We just want people to be aware of a lot of the reasons these medications have so many side effects is because of the nutrients that it depletes. And you can actually replenish the nutrients that are depleted by your medications. And that's the big thing we wanted to get across today, is there is something that you can do about it a lot of times. Now, you can't say the nutrients are going to help every side effect to a medication, because it's probably not true, but there's a lot of them that it can help. And we do see it every day. Well,
certain medications, because they bind with nutrients.
Yes.
And they really inhibit what they do, the good things that they do for us. I mean, like, for example, acid-reducing drugs can impact the absorption of vitamin B12, which is very important, while antibiotics can destroy, and we've talked about this how many times. Antibiotics can destroy good bacteria in the digestive system that play a role in the digestion and the absorption of vitamins and minerals.
Right.
So, that in itself, we've talked about that, it's like almost every other week.
Right. Yeah, and the thing about it is, so many people think, well, I'm not taking a prescription drug, I buy it over the counter. If you buy omeprazole over the counter, it's just a lower dose than what the doc's going to write you a script for. And a lot of people simply take more of it, so they're getting the same thing. It's over the counter, you buy it, but you're still taking a drug, a medication, if you will, drug, whatever, a chemical that's going to block the absorption of these nutrients. And, I think, Janine and I spend a lot of time with folks that come in and they tell us a list of their medications they're taking and say, okay, this is what we got to do to offset that. And that prevents a lot of problems. It really does.
So you really do. And there was actually, we brought this little book today.
Yeah. This book is...
It was actually published in 2000. So it is actually, the bad thing is it's outdated. Although what's in it is still accurate, and a lot of the older drugs that are in it. It was a medical book. It was not a nutrition book. So what we're talking about in the nutrients depleted by medication is not the people in the nutrition world that are saying it. It's actually medical research.
This is
so
pharmacist.
It's actually proven. And there's so many depletions that probably they don't know about. So it's more about, there's no doubt it does it. This book tells medications and what it depletes and what's going to happen when those are depleted. And so that's kind of the thing we wanted to get across. And of course, we don't know every single drug and every single depletion, but we have books to look it up in. Or you can even get online and search which medications, when you're on a medication, what it depletes. And then it tells you what you might want to take.
And a lot of people talk about, well, I always feel run down and tired and all this. Well, certain drugs, they will affect your absorption of vitamins and your metabolism.
You mentioned the antacids or the what they call the PPIs or whatever, and you mentioned B12. That's just one of the nutrients. It has a list.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sure that book there.
Oh, it
has a list of things that it depletes. Because if you think about it, it lowers stomach acid. Okay, why do you have stomach acid? Stomach acid is there to digest your food and to get the nutrients out of your food. So when you're on something that stops stomach acid, you're actually not going to actually absorb the nutrients properly from the food.
And one of the biggies is the minerals that you need, for your bone building. Calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, all those things, and for the immune system, everything else. So you lower that stomach acid and you don't absorb those nutrients. I don't care what kind of diet you got. you know, if you've got a really good diet and you're still not absorbing those nutrients, they're just going through you.
Right.
That's not a good thing.
No, not at all. And you know, people wonder, well, I'm taking, the doctor says I need to take this because I have this, but then I feel like this, so what do I do to take care of that?
Well, you know, it's, for instance, like the statin drugs, you know, for instance. I mean, that's one that we get an awful lot of. You know, some of the big things that they deplete is the coenzyme Q10. All right, every cell in your body has to have coenzyme Q10 to function properly. And if you don't get enough, you're talking about being tired and having those muscle problems. And it's a pretty simple thing. If you're taking a statin drug, let's give you some CoQ10.
Yeah, we have people all the time that come in.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're
there you go.
I'm proof positive right there because you know I take statin drugs and but there was always like I just didn't seem to have a whole lot of energy. So when I got with y'all, we started this a year or so ago, and did the blood work and found out, well, this is why, because I needed to add in the CoQ10, and there were other things that I needed to add, that I needed to add in because of what my blood pressure medicine, what my cholesterol medicine, what they was affecting in me, and what I was losing because of that I needed to get back.
And you've seen a world of difference.
Oh, my wife will tell you that. I've got more energy and vibrance than I had in years.
Yeah, and so that's one of the things, like I said, we wanted to get across is that you can do something about it and you don't have to be tired. Now, you mentioned statins depleting CoQ10. Statins deplete another couple nutrients, K2 and selenium. And there was even a recent study done in Japan where they actually looked at statins, and they said because of the CoQ10 depletion and the selenium depletion, that it significantly increased the chance of congestive heart failure. Well, if you're already on this, and so taking those nutrients can prevent the congestive heart failure that's associated with the statin drugs. And then the K2, if you deplete K2, when you're on a statin, it causes plaque in the arteries, which is the whole point you're taking it in the first place. So you got to look sometimes at some of the nutrients it depletes actually completely offsets the benefits you're getting from the medication.
But it's a simple matter of just, okay, let's give you these nutrients.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we're talking about how drugs pharmaceuticals can affect the nutrients and how your body reacts to them. If you have any questions for the doctor regarding that or anything else, you can call us at 896-0713, 800-349-0713, and we'll be back in just a moment. To our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi, Live Healthy, Be Healthy, with Drs. Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition, located on Cowan Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. They're open 10 to 5 Monday through Friday, from 11 to 2 on Saturday, and the doctors are there from on Monday through Thursday. You don't need an appointment.
Nope.
And consultation is absolutely free. And every time I stop by there, somebody is coming in to sit and talk to y'all. And find out more about things that can help you live a better lifestyle. Hannah of Moss Point, what can I take for a supplement if I take a statin drug?
Well, you want to take something, one of the biggies to replace is, of course, the coenzyme Q10. But then another one to replace, there's others. You have to get that zinc, you have to get the selenium, you have to get the B12 and folate, which are real big in that, and the K2. One of the best things that we have a multi-formula. Matter of fact, it's going to be on sale this next week, or this week, and it's called Megavites Lean, and it has everything in it that you need except the coenzyme Q10. So then we can just add you a little CoQ10.
So we usually do it in a higher dose.
Yeah. Right.
So it is one of our only multis. Most multis do not have K2.
Right.
So that is one that I tell people they don't usually get K2. It is our newest formula, so we made sure there was K2 put in it when we actually put it together. So it does have your K2 and selenium and all your other nutrients and minerals and all that. But at the same time, like I said, you have to add CoQ10.
And she also mentioned that she suffers from a lot of leg cramps.
Yes, and that will.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, the lack of CoQ10, you can have muscle cramps, pain, even to where I had somebody recently that couldn't hardly walk anymore.
Wow.
And 2 days of a high dose. Now, we used high dose CoQ10 in that case. 2 days, fine. Couldn't believe it. It's like the lady had been to the doctor multiple times from the same thing, and no one ever told her. So we've seen dramatic effects when you do replenish the nutrients depleted by your medications.
It's true.
And of course, that's why it's important whenever you do go and see the doctors, whatever, you're going to get some blood work done. and take a list of the different medications that you're on.
Yeah, it's really important to get that list of medications because, you know, if we don't know you're taking a medication, you know, for instance, and, you know, we're going to miss a part of that puzzle. So we need to know that.
In the past, we have actually had a few cases where the person was iron deficient, and their iron would not come up no matter what. It's like no matter what they took, no matter what they did, the iron just wasn't coming up like it should. They'd already went through all the testing to make sure there was no bleeding anywhere, there was no, you know, did colon scopes, did, you know, stomach scopes, did everything, make sure there's nothing going on. It ended up, and this person had not even told us they were on acid reducers.
It was an over-the-counter.
It was an over-the-counter acid reducer, so she didn't think about telling us. And sure enough, when she stopped that, her iron went back to normal.
Wow.
So it had been years. I mean, we're talking about a problem that had been years, went away as soon as, I mean, so there's no doubt it can do it. You have to always look at what else you're taking. And not just prescription medications, but like we said, over-the-counter medications. A couple of the biggies, of course, aspirin.
Really?
Aspirin also depletes iron. When you start looking, believe it or not, it depletes iron, vitamin C, folic acid. So it actually has depletions that you definitely want to replenish. Tylenol.
I was going to say that's the biggie.
Tylenol is another big one. You always hear of Tylenol being hard on the liver. Well, one of the reasons Tylenol is hard on the liver is it reduces something called glutathione. Glutathione is something produced in your body that is necessary to actually keep the liver going, for one.
Well, it's our number one antioxidant.
And it's the number one antioxidant that the own body makes. Well, it is actually...
So it protects the liver.
Yeah, and it protects the liver. So it is depleted by acetaminophen, which is,
and people take that like candy.
What about ibuprofen, though?
Ibuprofen does not deplete the glutathione, but it does deplete the vitamin C, iron, B12, folic acid, a lot of the nutrients there. So if you take anything...
There you go again, another one of those medications that depletes the nutrients.
That's
and it's
one reason,
people take it, they don't think about it. So, it's just ibuprofen, or it's just acetaminophen or Tylenol. You know, and you know, if you take it periodically, that's fine. But we talk to people and they're taking it every day for pain or whatever, and you know, because you can buy it over the counter, so they take it every day, and they're taking it in sufficient quantity to actually block those nutrients. And when they do, you know, eventually they come down with some sort of problem. It might take years. Yeah. But sooner or later, it's going to.
How about, okay, here's a question, because I take one, a baby aspirin every night.
Again, we talked about aspirin. It can be vitamin C. And you see bruising. A lot of people that actually take aspirin have a lot of bruising. And the vitamin C is depleted. So that's actually one of the things that you definitely have to replenish.
Dewey and Diamond Head's got a question. I take several medications for heart and blood pressure issues. Is there a natural alternative to over-the-counter cold medicine that I can take for colds?
Oh, definitely for colds. We have all kind of stuff, and it does not increase the blood pressure, because a lot of that's probably why you're asking, is because you have heart and blood pressure issues. So a lot of the over-the-counter cold medications will shoot that blood pressure sky high.
And if you're taking all those medications, Dewey, you also need to replace those nutrients, just like we're talking about, like probably the CoQ10. You know, those kind of things.
And a lot of times, even replacing your nutrients from your medications will keep you from getting sick as often. So maybe prevent the cold to begin with. But we have some over-the-counter, some homeopathic cough and cold remedies that do not affect blood pressure. We have stuff to boost your immune system, like arabinogalactin, vitamin C. All that helps with colds. Vitamin C has been proven to shorten a cold, and so has zinc.
Zinc. I was going to say, zinc's depleted by a lot of these nutrients.
All that is something that you can. So we have a lot of things that are natural for colds. Yes.
Oh yeah.
And there's nothing like a good probiotic from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Now, mentioning probiotics, you mentioned it at the start of the show.
Right.
How we all know that antibiotics deplete your probiotics. But antibiotics also deplete like every B vitamin that there is, just about.
Really?
Just
and
name
when you
one,
start looking,
and how important is the B vitamins?
Very important.
Pretty important.
Energy. Well, when it's depleted.
Well, there's the B12.
Yeah. When you have lack of energy, you tend to have depression.
Can't make red blood cells
Can't make red blood cells. You tend to start you can even have anemias, things like that from chronic antibiotic use. Now, another thing, and then I find that this is one that people pay attention to more than others, is biotin. Antibiotics deplete biotin. And of course, what happens when you deplete biotin? Your hair will start falling out. And we have more people that come in that their hair started falling out after an antibiotic. And so you definitely got to replenish the biotin. You got to replenish your probiotics, but you also have to replenish all your B vitamins. It's actually, that's why we recommend a good multivitamin for probably just about everybody, especially if you take medication, because you want to replenish, have a little bit of everything that's depleted, and there are so many medications that deplete multiple nutrients.
I think mine was just stress. That's what.
Not lack of biotin, right?
Yeah.
No,
Now, if you find something that will make it grow real well, I'm in.
You know,
I'm in on that.
that's a biggie, because let me tell you what, we have so many females that come in with that issue, hair, you know. And,
hair loss?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's
Oh,
huge.
well. All right, 896-0713, 800-349-0713. Diane, we'll get to your question when we come back, talking about how drugs affect nutrients in the absorption of them in your body and how important they are. And welcome back. It's our final segment of this morning's live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy, with Drs. Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition on Cowan Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. Diane at Ocean Springs, what do I need to take along with Neurontin?
Well, a good multivitamin that covers your B12, your folate, you know, those kind of things is and some of the minerals, very important to take with any medication.
Because it's important for the nerve pain anyway, which is
Right.
why most people are taking Neurontin. Neurontin is not one of the ones that actually lists a whole list of things that it's depleted.
Right.
A lot of things aren't known yet, though. So I do tell people a good multivitamin is a good idea to take with any of them, but definitely your B vitamins because of the nerve pain.
Right, B12 specifically.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we have mentioned so many times before, I mean, ABC, the networks even did a story on this several months ago, is before you decide to run to one of your big box stores and buy some vitamins over the counter, some of those there, might want to rethink that, because you're a lot of times in a lot of those instances you're not getting everything in there. You might be getting just a small portion of that B vitamin that's in there, because they put so many different fillers in there. That's why you get them so cheap.
Yep.
So it's the best thing to do is pay a little bit more and get the true.
Right, get the nutrients. I always tell people, if you think you're saving money, you're fooling yourself. Because when you buy that cheap vitamin or whatever, you're getting nothing probably for the money. So that's the most expensive vitamin you can buy, because you'd have to take so much of it to actually get some benefit out of it. So you're better off to buy a good quality nutrient to begin with.
All right. Jake from Poplarville has a question. I've been suffering from consistent migraines. Could my blood pressure medication be causing that? Is there something that I can take for it?
It's definitely possible, because a lot of what you got to look at is there's so many different blood pressure medications out there, and there's no doubt they deplete a lot. Actually, CoQ10 is one depleted by beta blockers. You have other nutrients depleted by calcium channel blockers. What I would say is you have to look at the actual medication itself to see what it might deplete. Now, magnesium is depleted by many of them, and magnesium can cause headaches. B2 is depleted by some of them, and B2 can actually cause migraine headaches. So if you call, and we'll talk specifically about the one that you're on and maybe give you something to actually replenish what it might be getting rid of. And even if your blood pressure is not controlled with your medication, can give you headaches as well.
Okay.
Right.
I'll give a call, again, if you or go by there with the list of medications that you do have, and they'll be glad to sit down and talk to you about it. Consultation is always absolutely free.
Yeah.
We'll talk about our special real quick before we get to the end of the show.
Okay.
It is actually Megavites Lean and CoQ10. Since actually the nutrients in CoQ10 are depleted by so many medications, we're actually having discounts on those this week. And Megavites Lean specifically because it has the K2 in it. And K2 is depleted by some, and it isn't in most multivitamins.
Then I take a different Megavite vitamin.
Yeah, you do Megavites 1, which is also a good one. Which is a good one. If you're not taking one of the ones specifically that depletes K2, it actually has the CoQ10, and it has all your B vitamins and a lot of B12 and vitamin D, so it actually has a lot in it as well. So the Megavites 1 is a one a day, to where the Megavites Lean is not.
Yeah. And again, I just from personal experience, what I've gone through over the past year now of changing my diet, taking the supplements that they recommended because of what was in my system.
And you're
Whole
getting,
different
and you're
person.
getting the K2 because you are taking K2
Yep,
from your
ADK2.
ADK2 because your D was low. So it really depends on what else is low with it, what you need to take along with it. That's why we kind of like to do the lab work, see what nutrients are depleted, see what medications you're on, and then come up with a plan to see what's best for you, because everybody is a little bit different.
Because it's all about living healthy and being healthy.
And that's what this whole show is about. Live healthy,
Now,
be healthy.
I did want to mention while we were on air, one of the class of medications that actually deplete probably more nutrients than anything when you start looking, and that is synthetic hormones, whether it be birth control pills or hormone replacement.
Yes.
The list on that one is probably longer than any medication out there. You deplete all your B vitamins, you deplete your minerals, you deplete tyrosine, which is important for thyroid. You deplete, I mean, when you start looking, it's vitamin D, it depletes them all. And so if you're taking synthetic hormones or birth control pills, which a lot of people don't consider that medication, you really need to be taking a multivitamin.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of people don't think about that as medication.
Well, and you mentioned hormone replacement.
Right.
You know, the different things that that women use and everything, and I'm sure again that has an effect on what it does to the nutrients in your body.
Right.
Oh, certainly.
All right. Selena of Gulfport. I'm completely drained during the day. My energy level is really low. I also am having a difficult time sleeping. Is there a vitamin or supplement that I can take for that?
Well, you know, our patent answer for that is let's find out what's causing it first. I mean, there may be.
Yeah, two of the symptoms you mentioned go along with a problem that we see a lot, and that is high cortisol. People that have no energy during the day, but yet they're anxious usually, and they don't sleep. High cortisol does both of those. And so if you check the cortisol level, and if it's high, there's definitely things you can do for that. We have stuff for sleep, but if you don't get to the root of the problem, it might not actually help your energy during the day.
Right.
So that's one you definitely want to check and see what's going on with you.
Exactly.
All right.
I think that's the wise thing to do there. Find out what's causing it first.
Yeah. You
But
really.
yeah, there's a lot of things you can take.
Because even another problem that can do both of those is thyroid problems.
Yeah.
It'll make lack of energy and lack of sleep. So you start looking, and there's so many things that affect a lot of different things. And one of the nutrients depleted by a lot of medication is melatonin. Believe it or not, it's listed on about half the medications people take.
And if you do that, you're not going to sleep
You're not
good.
going to sleep well. So it's actually, that's another one that you got to look at the medications you're taking.
And unfortunately,
also.
some people they'll just run to the doctor and they'll say, "I can't sleep at night. Here, I'm gonna write you a prescription for."
Yeah.
Which then you take one of those, and then what's funny is a lot of times Valium and Xanax, which are the benzos, they actually deplete melatonin. So you take it for sleep, and yet it knocks you out, but yet you're still depleting the chemical that the brain makes to sleep in the first place. So
That's why
I know.
That's one of the reasons it's kind of addictive, because if you don't take it, you don't sleep.
yeah,
Oh,
then
I
you don't
know.
sleep at all because you've depleted your melatonin, which means when you don't take it, you don't sleep at all. So,
And actually, for sleeping, y'all have some great stuff. It's called
yeah,
Best Rest.
Best Rest.
Sure do.
That works really good.
Yep. My wife takes it every night, and I do too, and we still can tolerate each other.
See?
We got a couple of minutes left. 8960713. James of Latimer. My feet have been dry and flaking, along with being very swollen. Thoughts on what may be causing that?
Well, you know,
Circulation.
Circulation is a biggie, you know, and of course the essential fatty acids, you know, the omega-3s for sure, always biggest possibility there, especially with circulation and so on too. And two, James didn't tell us, you know, is he taking some medications, and which ones?
Right, because a few of them do actually tend to make the dry skin, especially depletion of B vitamins make the dry skin. The swelling can be from a lack of CoQ10, it can be from a lack of other nutrients, but you do always think of if you don't get circulation, you will get the swelling, and the skin doesn't get the circulation either, so it starts getting dry and flaky.
And
so you do have to look at congestive heart failure, you have to look at heart problems.
And a lot of those nutrients, a lot of the drugs and so on deplete the vitamin A and the beta carotene, which turns into vitamin A, which is skin.
Which actually helps the skin as well.
Hard
Yep.
to say. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we appreciate everyone being with us this morning and for you tuning in to us. Of course, you can go by and see Doctors Jim and Janine Fox over at Doctors Nutrition during the week. They're there Monday through Thursday between 10 and 5, located on Cowan Road in Gulfport, south of Pass Road. Next week, we're talking lung and breathing problems.
Right. COPD is a big problem that comes in, and a lot of people have that, and there are things that actually help you breathe easier. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week.
Okay, so tune in again. And again, this program will be rebroadcast this Friday, again at 9 o'clock on WLOX CBS. We hope you have a great week out there otherwise, and be sure, you try to live healthy and be healthy. That's what this show is all about here on WLOX CBS. Again, have a great day and drive carefully out there.